Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining me and my guests for Lunch with Dr. Nadine. It's the first in the series. It's a Wow Women Empowerment series, and we just ordered our drinks and we're about to have some. I'm actually having some ginger and echinacea lemon drink. Alicia, what are you having?
I'm having ginger vitamalt.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Yes, we are so excited that you chose to spend, or you are choosing to spend half an hour having lunch with us. It is a quick lunch, but we are sure you're going to have an amazing, amazing time. And I want to formally introduce you as you come into this restaurant to have lunch with us to my guest, Alicia Alexander. I had the pleasure of working with her in my speaker mentorship program. And I want Alicia to tell you a little more about herself, what she does, and what her speaking focus is as we chat over this lunchtime period.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you, Dr. Nadine, for having me at your lunch event. It is indeed a pleasure and a blessing to be here. And like Dr. Nadine said, I'm Alicia Alexander, and I am your forgiveness coach. I am a person that's motivated by challenges, and sometimes the challenges don't come in the format that are pleasant. And for me, I use my personal story and my experience, my endurance for faith and endurance for life to inspire women on an individual basis and also collectively, especially if they've been through a traumatic situation such as sexual abuse. I use my voice to help them regain their voice. I use my experience to help them regain that confidence that they might have lost throughout that process.
Yes, Alicia, I am so happy that you are sharing that information with the world. I remember when we began working together. In fact, you came to me not really knowing, who I was because we met at a women's retreat, right?
Yes,
And
we did.
you came to me and you were saying to me that you wanted to tell your story. You had been through a traumatic event early on in your life, and for over 30 years you had not shared that story with anybody. And you said, I know it was the right time for me to do that. And I mean, that took a lot of courage, for you to come to a stranger that you're just met at that retreat and say, you know what, it's my time to share that story. And we were able to work together to actually help you to position yourself to tell your story. So I would like you to tell the ladies who are joining us a little bit about your story and what led you to become a forgiveness coach.
Well, for me, like Dr. Nadine said, I met her at a women's retreat. But based on my story, for years, I have felt like I was trapped, I was in pain, and I was in a box where I wanted to get out and I could not get out. And that was because I kept everything to myself, everything was internalized. So when I met Dr. Nadine at that retreat, my purpose of being there was just to relax. I just went there for enjoyment. But I left that retreat motivated and inspired to help somebody else. I was sexually abused at a tender age by someone who I trusted. And that person abused me emotionally and mentally. And as a result, I became very shy, very reserved. I was afraid to take pictures. I didn't want to be behind a camera because I was told I was ugly. I was told I would be nobody. And because of that, I was shut out to the world. But I always wondered what it would have been like if I was from that age, nothing had taken place, or if I was to get out of that box or relieve or take off this burden that I've been carrying for years. I attended a sermon and I heard a pastor preaching about forgiveness. And that was my key, forgiveness. And as a result of hearing that sermon, I realized that not giving forgiveness is going to be a stumbling block between my destiny, my final resting place, if I don't learn to forgive.
Mhm.
I took it upon myself to find my abuser and I laid it out to him. I told him what he did, how he affected my life, and I forgave him. And one of the reasons why I did that is because I wanted to take my power back. I did not want to give him the opportunity to continue ruining my life, even though he wasn't present. And so therefore I forgave him before he asked for forgiveness. And with me doing that, from the moment I did that, it's like a burden was released. It's like I was a new person. I regained my voice. I regained my confidence. And I realized that keeping it to myself was only burdening me down more. If I relieve it, if I forgive him, if I have that confidence back, I can help somebody else who might be dealing with the same situation. And you might find it difficult, how can she forgive him? If you look at the example, Jesus was on the cross between his accusers, and he said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. He gave forgiveness to those who were persecuting him, and he gave forgiveness to those who did not deserve it. So if my father is an example, I should be following that example. And so therefore, I'm just telling my story and I'm excited about it, not because of what took place. It was traumatic, but because I'm helping others to live a fulfilling life.
Yeah, Alicia, I'm so excited just to see the confidence with which you're sharing that story in the first place. Because one of the things that I noted when we began working together was your readiness to tell the story, even though you didn't know how you were going to tell the story, who you were going to tell the story to, where you were going to tell that story. But you were like, I know that this was the right time. But tell us a little bit about that process, because I know it didn't take you like 2 years or 5 years. How many years did it take you later for you to reach that point of being able to reach out to that person who had offended you so much? So tell us a little bit about the process, because there may be some ladies listening thinking, oh my, she probably did that like soon after it happened or whatever. Just tell us about the process that and that time frame that it took, and also a follow up about what you think that it robbed you of, like the time when you felt like you had no voice. What did it rob you of?
Well, the process, like I mentioned earlier, I was abused as a child. And it took me 30 something years, 30 plus years, to build that confidence to say, you know what, I was not responsible. I am not to be blamed. But yes, at the same time, how do I get over that? And
Mhm.
for me, and for a lot of women probably too, or a lot of people that have experienced sexual abuse, we walk around with that shame. And
Yeah.
that shame and that blame determines or is emulated in our lives. We
Mhm.
live according to what we're feeling. We
Yeah.
act according to what we experience. And people might look at you and say, you know what? That person doesn't have a good attitude. And it's not necessarily because they don't have a good attitude, but because they're carrying so much and not knowing how to release that. So it took me 30 something years in order to get to that point to even talk about it and
Mhm.
even to approach him. And I spoke earlier about hearing that sermon on forgiveness.
Yeah. Tell
Even
us a
though
little
I heard the service on
Tell us
forgiveness,
a little more about that sermon, because I remember you telling me something about that sermon and how it was that changing point, that pivotal moment in your life that changed everything. So tell us about that sermon. I don't want to
okay,
break it, but I
let me
want you
just
to
make
tell
it a little
us.
quick.
No,
I was going to attend church that morning, and something kept telling me, you have to go, you have to go. I got there late, and I sat in the back of the church. And the pastor was giving the sermon, and his topic was forgiveness.
mm-hmm.
And I'm listening and I'm absorbing everything. But when he got to the point about not getting your blessing
Mm-hmm.
or not reaching your final destiny because of this factor, I felt like he was speaking to me directly. I felt like this sermon was just for me, and I was the only one sitting in that congregation. I was the only one in that church experiencing it. And it felt like the voice of forgiveness was speaking to me. And
The what of forgiveness?
the voice of forgiveness.
I'm asking you because I remember when you told me that the first time. I'm like, what, the voice of forgiveness was speaking to you? Tell us more about that.
And so I felt like it was that voice that was speaking to me. I felt like this is what I needed to hear and this is what I needed to do.
Mm-hmm.
And like it or not, it was going to happen because I
Right.
was destined to be there that morning. It wasn't by chance. And I was destined to hear that sermon. And it's for me to go and execute what was given to me. Because for years I've been asking, how can I get out? How can I help? What can I do to be free? And forgiveness was the word.
Wow.
Now, it took me a while because even if I did hear it that day, it took me a few more months because I still had to pray about it. I had to decide, is this not I decide because it was going to happen regardless, but I had to gather the courage to say, is this, how am I going to do this? How am I going to see it through? But I
Mhm.
realized the minute I saw it through, that was going to be it. If I see the whole process through, if I get on that call, if I express my feelings, if I tell what has been done, what has been taken from me,
Yeah.
and just to say it openly, that was going to be my release.
Awesome.
And regaining my voice and my confidence, I tell you, Dr. Nadine, because I said it to you, when I thought about this speaker mentorship program, even if I wanted to motivate others and be a speaker, because of the stigma that was placed on me, the words that were used against to taunt me, I
Mhm.
never wanted to be behind a camera.
I remember
Even
that.
if I wanted to be a speaker, I'm like, how am I going to be a speaker and motivate others if I can't sit behind a camera and speak? And Dr. Nadine let them know that you are awesome because here I am talking about what took place in front of an audience,
Yeah. I want
not
to
just an audience, but a
congratulate
worldwide audience.
I want to congratulate you on that because I did remember your fear about taking pictures, your fear about being behind a camera. And the thing is, I can't imagine being afraid of taking pics. I mean, I love to take pictures my whole life, every birthday. I will be doing photo shoots. I can't imagine a traumatic experience happening that would deny me wanting to take pictures. But I remember you went through that. I remember what it was like for you when we had to arrange for you to actually do your first photo shoots and your hang-ups about it, and when you had to do your first recording of your story. But also I remember when we were in South Carolina together, because we ended our coaching relationship in a nice touch way, where you spent the weekend with me in South Carolina in Myrtle Beach. And there, what happened? Tell the audience, the listening audience, what happened to you in Myrtle Beach. Well, tell them about what happened inside and what happened outside, what we did that weekend.
We actually did the photo shoot where you wanted to be comfortable behind a camera, to tell my story, to give my experience. And it took us a long time for it to happen. Several takes, several hiccups. And guys, Dr. Nadine is amazing. This mentorship program is amazing. She is very diligent. She wants the best for us. She wants the opportunity to help women live their wow life. And I say that with sincerity because she was so patient with me. I was more frustrated with me than she was because I had to do it so many times. But I left feeling like, wow, I am going to do this. Regardless, even if I don't want to do it, she's going to make sure I do it.
But we
She's
did
very,
something. We
hmm?
did something on the beach. Also, when we finished, because we spent one day, taking pics. We spent another day recording different pieces of your story so that you can have stuff. And then we also went on the beach, and
Yes,
you
we
did
did.
something that you had never done before. And I
I
want you to tell
did.
us what you did.
I did my first Facebook Live. Guys, I was sweating, but I did my first Facebook Live, and I looked at it several times before I actually posted it. But as I looked at it again, because not because you've been through a traumatic situation and you figure you forgive and you think that you're over it. There are times that you will have flashback. So we did the Facebook Live. I looked at it. I said, no, I'm not going to post this. I looked at Dr. Nadine and I said, I don't have a choice but to post this. And from then, I have been on a roll. And it's been truly a blessing helping others. You'll be amazed at the stories that you will hear and the way people are willing to open up to you when they see that you're so transparent and you're willing to help them live that life that they might be missing out on.
Yeah. I mean, that's just amazing. I see your growth, just to see how God has just showing up and the courage that you get. I know showing up here today was something big, but you showed up anyhow. And so I am really, amazed at your story. And so there is a comment from Otilia. It's actually on YouTube. She said, "Such courage, Alicia, which can only be given by God. Forgiveness is a tough one." And so that's just some encouragement for you. I am not sure if
Thank
we
you.
have, I could probably check on Facebook to see if we have some comments there. But I want you to tell us a little more about the importance of forgiveness and why you believe giving forgiveness. Because one of the things I noted when I worked with you is the fact that all my life, or most of my life, I would say, because your story was unique for me, because most times when people feel wronged, they always say, "This person needs to tell me sorry. This person needs to tell me sorry so then I can forgive them." And so when you shared your story with me for the first time and you told me you went searching for that number of this person who was supposed to be a trusted adult in your life, somebody who should have protected you, and instead that person violated you. And not only did he do that physically, but emotionally and mentally, he tortured you by telling you so many things about yourself. And that made you move from being one type of person to another type. Maybe you can tell our viewers what type of girl you used to be before that happened to you, and then how all of the things that he said to you and what some of these things are, how it changed you, and how you actually got that back.
Prior to being abused, I was a happy-go-lucky person, happy-go-lucky child. Children have no care in the world, and I was one of those children. I would do whatever came to mind without even thinking about the consequences afterwards. And my love for life that I can remember and my love for people was unconditional. I saw no wrong. I saw no evil in anyone. I saw no harshness in anyone.
Mhm.
I was always the one that trying to be the peacekeeper. And when that happened, it felt like I was again locked in a box. I had no one to speak to. I had no one. I felt that way. Might not have been the case, but I felt like even just stepping outside, everybody could look at me and see what was taking place. And
Mhm.
therefore I felt shunned, which might not have been necessarily the case, but those were my feelings. And
Mhm.
I became very shy and reserved.
Right.
Um, there were times when I wanted to get involved in certain activities, but my first thought would be, how would people look at me? I'm not looking right. I'm going to be ugly behind the camera. I'm not going to look good in that outfit. And so I did not get involved in a lot of activities that I probably should have too.
Mm.
Um, Stealing someone's innocence,
Mm.
I can't even say what it's like not to have it stolen because I don't know what life would have been like if it wasn't stolen. So
Yeah.
that's all that I know. I
Yeah.
just know what it was like going forth from there. Um, it ruined my trust for others. It ruined my outlook on life.
Mhm.
Although I never considered suicide or any sort of harmful things to do to myself,
Mhm. Mhm.
I did not see life as fulfilling as I
Mhm.
should have seen it.
Yeah.
I thought that I did not have a purpose.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I thought I was being punished.
Yeah. I remember you said that.
Thought that this was a punishment. But after it happened for a while, I wondered how long was this punishment was going to take place.
Mhm.
And fast forward into forgiveness. In Mark 11 in
Mhm.
the Bible, it says, when you're praying, if you hold anything against anyone, forgive them.
Mhm. Mhm.
In Matthew 6, in the Lord's Prayer, he says, forgive our debts as we forgive our debtors.
Mhm.
And like I mentioned earlier, when Jesus was on the cross, he said, Father, forgive them for what they have done. He is our example.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
He is our example. And forgiveness it defiles God if we don't learn how to forgive.
Mhm.
And one of the things that we fail to remember is that every day we are not worthy of being even right here as we are right now.
Mercy.
And every day he forgives us.
Mhm.
If we want to have that relationship with him, we have to learn to forgive. And
Right.
all of us are in need of forgiveness.
True. True.
Forgiveness is a prerequisite
Yeah.
for our connection to get forgiveness from him.
Right.
We have to learn to forgive others if we want to get that reception from him as well.
You're preaching, Alicia. You're preaching.
I know, right? And I'm like, whoo. And it's amazing. Now, for everybody, the story might be different. You
Yeah.
might find your release in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, when you forgive somebody and you can lay in peace, knowing that you have nothing hanging over you, knowing that you have no hang-ups,
Mm-hmm.
knowing that you have done what your due diligence, it
Mm-hmm.
is an awesome feeling. It
Yeah.
is an awesome experience. And like
Yeah.
he forgives us every day. So
Yeah.
why we can't forgive others?
Yeah. Yeah, I think your story is just listening to you and feeling some of the emotions, reconnecting with the emotions that I shared as we worked together for the 12 weeks that we did, and just hearing some of it again. It's like, it's just an amazing journey to, after 30 something years of being affected by that negative experience and all of the negative words that was said to you, and then reaching out and saying, I forgive you. What was his reaction over the phone when you actually said the words, I forgive you, and without wanting an explanation from him? Tell us a little bit about that.
You're right. I did not want an explanation. I just wanted him to know this is what took place. This is what have happened over the past few years. This is how I've been living my life. But I'm bigger than that. And I'm not going to allow you to control me from wherever you are anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And when I told him I forgave him, he made an attempt to explain why it took place. And I said, I don't want to hear. I just want to relieve myself and probably relieve you as well.
Mm-hmm.
And he went quiet for a while. And then I heard him sobbing. And I said to him, that is between you and your Almighty God. I have made that peace.
Mm-hmm.
I have relieved you of whatever you might be thinking over the past few years. I am still here. I'm still strong. I'm
Mm-hmm.
stronger than before. And
Yes.
not only that, I'm a survivor. I'm going to take it an extra step. I'm a thriver. I'm going to thrive,
Amen.
regardless of whatever took place.
Amen.
And I also said to him, I want to have that relationship with God regardless. I'm sinful, I'm ungrateful, and sometimes I don't deserve to be, not sometimes, most times I don't deserve to be forgiven. However, the lack of forgiveness break your connection.
Mm-hmm.
There's several things that you have to have in line in order to make it into the kingdom. But lack of forgiveness damages that relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And so even if I have to work on each issues I have individually,
Mm-hmm.
let me start with forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
I can get over that. I can make that solid. Then I can move on to something else. I might not have time, but God knows my heart.
Yeah.
And I tell you something else. Sometimes we go through situation and we think, oh, it's so traumatic and how am I going to deal with this? I was brought through that situation and quickly, I know I recently recovered from COVID.
Mm-hmm.
I was in isolation for 70 days
Mm-hmm.
without my family around. It was very challenging. But because I've been through a pandemic before,
Mercy.
I went through another pandemic and I was very prepared for it. It gave me an opportunity to regroup,
Mm-hmm.
reconnect, and redefine my direction in life.
Yeah.
And this is not the first pandemic, it's not the second, and it will not be the last pandemic. But with each one, it makes me stronger for the other.
Yeah. Awesome. That is such a powerful connection. I'm happy that you recovered for sure. And we are thankful. I see we have one comment here from a young lady. in the BVI. She said, "One brave, strong woman, a bruised reed, will he not break? Give God the praise." We have Iva Moses saying powerful. And so women are being blessed by what you're sharing right now. And that's the reason why we're here. And so I want you to just, as we wind down in our lunch time, and we are thankful that you ladies have chosen to join us across the social media platforms, tell us if somebody is looking for somebody to speak on forgiveness. If any of you out there, you are running programs right now, we're all doing stuff virtual, and when we're doing things in person, you want to be able to have an expert come and speak on the topic of forgiveness. We have Alicia Alexander. She's been through a really traumatic experience from the age, I think it was 12, was it?
Yes.
From the
Yes.
age of 12, she dealt with that on her own for years without even saying anything to her mom or people in her personal life. 30 something years later, she reaches out to the person who actually did that to her and said to him, "I forgive you. You do not even have to explain to me why you did what you did. I'm going to release myself. I'm going to take control back of my life. And I'm going to do something amazing with it. I'm going to find my purpose. You are no longer going to control me." And Alicia has gone through that, and she has dedicated the rest of her life to empowering women to give forgiveness. And so tell us, as we wind down in the next few minutes, where can women find you, so that, or anybody can find you, so that they could actually book you to speak on the topic of forgiveness?
Sure. You can reach out to me. I have a Facebook page called She Forgave. Powerful title, She Forgave. You can reach me at sheforgave@gmail.com and via Dr. Collins as well. My telephone number will be posted at the bottom of the page after the luncheon is over. And ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Collins' mentorship program is awesome. I'm going to spotlight you too as well.
I
You
didn't
have
ask
put
you to
me
do
in a
that.
position, you have put me in a position that I am living on purpose. I am fulfilling my what I've always felt I needed. I had that spark inside, but did not know how to get it out. And I am empowering women who are dealing with the same situation, who might have been through it, who might be dealing with it right now and don't know how to get it out yet. Don't feel like they have anybody to speak to or they can express themselves. So again, at the end of the program, the links are going to be listed at the bottom. And I look forward to speaking to you guys.
Yes, so we're not going to put your phone number on social media. We will put, what's your email address?
It's sheforgave@gmail.com.
Okay, so that's sheforgave@gmail.com. She also has a Facebook page, She Forgave. You could actually join that group if you're struggling with forgiveness. We have a comment from one of my clients. She's also in the speaker mentorship program right now. Her name is Karubo, and she actually she's all the way in Kenya. She said, "Forgiveness is not easy. I'm so touched by this testimony." And somebody else put, "Speak the truth, Alicia." And so, ladies, if you're looking to be empowered, you want to know a little more about how you can forgive, you've been holding on to something, and I mean, this is a lunchtime hour with a lunchtime segment with us. It's not an hour, it's a lunchtime segment with us. It's a heavy topic, but it's one that we need to speak about. I'm thankful that you took the time to be here with us and to be with Alicia as she shared her amazing journey in giving forgiveness. You can reach her at sheforgave@gmail.com, on her Facebook page also, She Forgave. We will put links in the comment section so that you can reach out to her if you want to be able to host a program on forgiveness to any group at all. Alicia is available to actually do these bookings. So again, thank you, Alicia. We have 2 more minutes. What would you like to say to the ladies out there, or to anybody listening to you right now?
You're not alone. There are many women or individual men as well who
Mhm.
have been through traumatic situations. And you are not alone. I am here for you. You know, um, reach out to me. I am willing to speak to you individually, collectively, come to your group, give a presentation, and I'll be as transparent can be.
Yeah.
And you don't have to, you can live a fulfilling life. You can live on purpose if you feel that there's something in you that you are destined to do. Because at one point I thought that God was going to take my gift away from me because I wasn't using it. So if there's anything that you think that there is that you can do, and you might not even know what it is, just take a chance.
Yes.
Just take
Awesome.
that chance. God is going to take you through. He has designed you to see you through.
Amen. Alicia, somebody said powerful. Another person said excellent session. Someone else said your testimony is so powerful. May God continue to bless you and use you to empower more broken women. So your story, it's going to go all over the world today. Many women are going to be inspired and empowered by your journey. And we know that many of them will also reach out to you so that you can continue to empower more women to give forgiveness. So thank you so much for having lunch with me, Alicia.
Thank you.
God bless you guys. Thank you so much for joining us for lunch as well. And I will see you back here tomorrow at 12 noon, where we will have another featured guest. So look forward to seeing you. God bless. Bye-bye.